Hi, I'm Roger with the Kids Hope Alliance. In this short video, I would like to go over the checklist for program and data managers for Boost summer camps. And let's start by looking at the active SAMUS accounts for yourself and or your employees, both data and finance managers. If you have a participant that's returning, or I should say an employee returning from last summer camp, I can say it's more than likely their account will be deactivated if you have not been doing after school programming. So you'll have to submit that new user request form to reactivate them for this summer camp. And of course, for any new employees, you'll need to submit those as well. And once those have been done, we can ask the data manager at that point to start enrolling participants in SAMUS on your summer camp program page. If it's a returning participant from last year, you'll need to search for the participant, find that participant's name, open their demographic record, and then give them a new episode date for the 2022 summer camp. If it's a new participant, first time camper in your program, and you don't find their name in your program page search, then that's when you would create the new participant demographic record and automatically give them a new episode date for this summer camp. So that's step two. After you've completed enrolling all of the participants in SAMUS, and it's time to print a sign-in sheet and take a look at it. You could have 3, 4, 5 pages, depending on how many participants you have. And you'll want to make sure that everyone that you're expecting is listed. They should be in alphabetical order. And if the sign-in sheets look good, you can go ahead and make some copies of those. And you wouldn't need to go back to SAMUS and generate a new sign-in sheet unless or until you have new participants that come into your camp after the first day begins. So once we have our sign-in sheets ready, we want to validate our roster. And one way to do that is by looking at your sign-in sheets. There's some other ways to go about doing that. You can run the POS monthly detail report, which is mentioned further down on the slide. And that will give you a list of names of active participants. You can also go into the Units of Service Input module and see if everyone who is expected has their name showing in that module where you would record attendance. So validating your roster basically is a confirmation that everything's ready on before day one. And then you might want to do a little testing of your attendance module. You go into that Units of Service input and just take a look at it. Make sure that you can change the dates. It's going to look different this year. Encourage everyone to go to training for that and the other things that have changed as well, of course. But make sure you can see each name in there and everything makes sense to you. And that's good enough. You cannot do some pre attendance and into the future and try to record attendance for a student before the first day of camp. It's only going to allow attendance to be recorded for the current day or past days. Another thing that you'll want to look for is whether or not your closed dates calendar has been completed. So we'll get to that next, but you can actually do the closed dates module before testing your Units of Service Input module if you like. The closed dates module, if you're not familiar with that, is basically a calendar which allows you to close weekends and holidays, and then all the days left open, and by default all days are open. Then the system reports and the reviewers at KHA can see the days of service that you provided camp. So that's something that's critical, and you want to make sure that that gets checked and done as well. Then baselining our reports. So there's a PUS monthly detail report I mentioned earlier. The training show how to find that report. The purpose of running that is to make sure that you have all the names for your camp in the system, that you know how to run the report, and it will show attendance on a day-by-day basis with summary totals for the week and the month. And I recommend that you run this report daily or at very least weekly to make sure that the input that's being recorded is actually showing up. Then Units of Service Activity Report is something that you'll need. It's a report that will become necessary for you to request reimbursements, or at least for your finance manager to do that. And the spreadsheet that it is used with is called the Boost 80% Payment Calculator spreadsheet. And you'll want to make sure that you're clear on how it works. That's covered in trainings, but basically it's a spreadsheet wherein you take the units of service activity report value after attendance has been run for the month. You plug that value into the calculator spreadsheet, and it will ultimately tell you how much you could request for June or for July. So it's very important to understand that. And again, it is covered in trainings. So this pretty much is everything that you need on a daily basis, or before camp begins, I should say. And if you have already activated your account and you forget that password, there is a way to reset that. It only works if we have your correct email address in the system. So it's important that we have that correct email address. If you have questions or issues, you can contact us easiest, I think, at samus@coj.net. Describe the issue or concern, and we can resolve it or give you the information you need and email that back to you. You can also call us at that number, 255-4410. If we're on another line, just please leave a voice message. And during the summer, we get a lot of calls, so it's possible that you'll get a voicemail, and I actually encourage you to email us. It's a little faster in many cases. 8 to 5 is our hours, and I think that covers everything for boost camps before camp begins. Good luck. Hope you have a great 2022 camp season. Thank you.